Hello, it's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and tackle your own to-do list. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome to the Just Ask Bob show. I am your host, Bob Assadourian, and we kick it off with yet another viewer's email. Hello, Bob. Can you please do a painting show? I have baseboards, and I'm wondering, is it better to roll them or brush them? Angelo, Hamilton, Ontario. Thank you, Angelo. And yes, we've put together a beautiful show on painting. We have coming up in the show trim baseboards, brushing it. You don't want to roll them, Angelo. Rolling them is quick. You know, a lot of people ask me this, if they've got all their baseboards laid out on sawhorses, can they just take a mini roller and go, go, go? You're not going to have a nice look. The rolling will leave, especially with semi-gloss paint. The roller will leave a little texture marks. You're going to get a cleaner, neater, silkier finish brushing it. Now, the ultimate, we're not doing that today, but the ultimate would be spraying them. Just like the finish on your automobile, spraying is flawless. So if you have spray equipment or you know that's somebody that does, spraying doors, baseboard trim, casing is the ultimate. Let's go through a couple of tools you're going to be using. First of all, quality really matters. Purdy is phenomenal. This is a really good brush. Now you want to take care of your brush. Not everybody's got this at home, but if you're serious about painting, this is a nice tool to have. You put your brush in. Well, first, let's back up a moment. You're going to soap up the brush. You're going to use this to clean it with the water running. This does a great job at cleaning. You can pick this up. They're available anywhere. Then while your brush is wet, you're going to put it in here, turn it, click it in. So this is now sudsy and somewhat rinsed off. You hold it over a garbage can or over in the laundry tub. That cleans it up. Then what you do, while it's wet, you package it neatly. That way the brush will hold its shape. Now, what if you're not done? What if you're between coats? Perfect. We have this guy here. You're going to take your wet brush, you're going to put it in the container. Look at the quality here. Gasketed, top and bottom, rubber gaskets to keep the air out. Put your brush in, close it up, it's ready for the next time. What else do we have here? Rollers. I love the Bennett roller. These rollers are a top pick for certain. Look at that flag. Made in Canada for the viewers at home. Anytime you can buy made in Canada versus made in China, please do. Now, you know Bob's always dumping on China. Let me explain. There's a reasoning there. They don't pay their employees enough wages. I mean, there's a lot of politics to it, but when people aren't happy, they usually don't produce well. North American facilities, European facilities, especially Canada, we have the highest standards in manufacturing, and that's why you're going to get high-quality components. So anytime you can buy Canadian, buy Canadian. This is a really high quality, lint-free. This will soak up a lot of paint, so you don't have to constantly be dipping in and out of your tray. Up next, on a Triple R job site, where we're going to show you how to cut and roll like a pro.
Friday night, November the 9th, the OHL Tonight comes to you from Kingston. The Hamilton Bulldogs will take on the Frontenacs for the second time in just 6 days, and it'll be the first time since the Eastern Finals that the Bulldogs find themselves in the city of Kingston. The Frontenacs will be looking for a little bit of revenge, and Jason Robertson and company have the talent to do it, but the Bulldogs will look to show that they are still ahead in the Eastern Conference. You can catch all the action live in an HD right here on Cable 14 beginning at 7 p.m.
Hello, welcome to our Triple R job site. Today we're going to teach you how to paint, trim, baseboards, casing, and cut and roll walls. Let's start with the finished product. And this baby's just gleaming. If you can focus your eyes on that, Hamilton, we've got a beautiful finger-jointed pine, no MDF, and that's a Bob's Beware. Nice finger-jointed pine, which is real solid wood. Look at the glisten on that. Just beautiful. I wish for the viewers at home you can feel that. That's like silk. Now, believe it or not, this isn't finished yet. This received 1 coat of primer in order to seal the wood. It was sanded, vacuumed, 1 coat of semi-gloss, sanded, vacuumed, 2nd coat of semi-gloss, and here it is. When this gets installed, either use an air gun or a battery-operated nailer. Obviously, you're going to have small pinholes. Those get filled in, 3 coats of spot putty, nice light sanding, and a 3rd and final coat. So that's your baseboard that goes over just above your floors throughout your home. Here we have casing. So this would go around your doors and around your windows. And again, look at that. I mean, I know you can't feel it at home, but that's silky smooth. So I always tell homeowners, I don't want to belittle painting. Painting is not the hard part. It's the preparation. We could have just had the original piece rough, just throw a coat of primer on 2 coats of paint. It's going to feel rough. This feels like literally like a sheet of glass. It's because of the sanding. Every single coat, whether it's primer or whether it's paint, except for the final coat, obviously, you need to scuff it. By sanding, there's not a lot involved in it. Just a hand sponge, just a light pull, and then you want to vacuum it. Any dust or debris in the air will stick to paint like a magnet, and then you're going to have a problem. Now, we're showing you the final product here. Also, one more quick one. This is jam that we've made. So this is the raw wood that you buy. You may be extending a window jam or a door jam. This is the finished product. Just silky. It's like gloss. Now, again, this may have some holes in it from nails or screws when you construct and build the frame for your door or your window jam, and then it's touched up again afterwards. Now we're going to show you how this became the way it is. So we have one piece here. This is the raw wood. And again, please try to shop this way. This is pine. This is great wood for paint grade. You're not going to stain this like oak and maple. So if we talk about casing and moldings for a moment, you have paint grade or you have stain grade. Stain grade is your maple or your oak. This is simply paint grade because this wood isn't good enough. The grain, it doesn't have a nice rich grain to it. You wouldn't generally stain this. You would paint it. So as far as paint grade trim for inside your home, it really breaks down to the basic 2 choices for paint grade. MDF, medium density fiberboard. Otherwise, a Bob's Beware. Junk. Keep away from it. It swells. If you spit on it or drop some sweat on it, it'll swell. I wouldn't recommend that at all for your nice home. At the minimum, to be cost effective, finger jointed pine. If you really want a nice higher quality wood that you're still going to paint, poplar. So again, it depends what your budget calls for. Speaking of budgets on that note, when you cut the crooked and overcharging contractor out of the equation, you've now saved potentially 60 to 70% of the labor. Yes, believe me when I say that the labor is nearly 70% and the materials are 30%. Now that ranges depending on the job. But when you've cut the crooked and overcharging contractor out of the equation, take that savings, don't be stingy with it, and buy MDF. Buy the highest quality building materials your budget may allow for your home. You're going to do the job yourself. You have bragging rights. Friends, family, you tell everybody, I did this with my own hands. This is what it comes in, the original. This one's already had primer applied to it. Now, for those of you at home, look at the sheen difference. Primer's flat. Primer's a sealer. This is the white semi-gloss. So we're going to take a moment to show you how we coat this. As noted, the Purdy brush, a Bob's top pick. Now, this reminds me of what people were telling me when I was a very young apprentice. It's an old joke when it comes to painting. Any homeowner out there, anybody may know how to paint, but not everybody's a painter. There is a difference between thinking you can paint and being able to paint, and then obviously being a painter. Now, especially for us tradespeople, the key is speed. So you do want to fly with this. This may look messy for the moment, but there's a reason. The primer will never show. So as I tell my guys, speed counts. You want to put a generous amount on and just pull it. Painting takes years and years and years of experience. It's not something you're going to learn overnight. However, for a DIY project, I couldn't think of a better one for homeowners, but please be neat. Poor cuts and incorrect painting techniques can destroy a home. See what I'm doing now? I'm just simply pulling it. See how it's light here? I'm going to dab some. You want to end with a nice pull. There you go. Now, depending on your application, one side may show. So we're going to flip it up. Now this is the hard part. This is the part where it takes me a lot of mental anguish training my guys, because they're a little messy sometimes when they do the edges. And what they do is they have primer paint rolling over. So now we stop at this point. I'm going to pull it again really fine. And now I'm going to tilt it. Not bad. Not a single run. Follow your, a little thick here. That's the right way. Now equally as important, let me show you the wrong way. So for purposes of illustration here, I'm going to show you the wrong way. Okay, so I'm assuming my face is done. I'm coating the edge. And I don't look at the face. And then I just set the wood aside. Those runs are going to be an awful problem. You don't want to be painting over that. If these runs are not dissipated, and this is fast set primer made by Zinsser. If these runs are not dissipated within about 20 minutes, what you see is what you get. So the point is, catch it. Accidents may happen. Catch it. That's all. Nobody's perfect. I always tell my guys, look over your own work. In the case of you people at home, if the husband's painting or priming, the missus should be looking it over, or vice versa. So this piece is what was done here. Now we're going to set this out of the way. We're going to reverse it. We have one that was done some time ago. We'll just check there's no fluff on here. All right, that's had primer on it that is cured. Now we've got a nice white semi-gloss. Big difference with the semi-gloss. Stir it up a little. Oh, the brush is a little hard. It'll work its way in. Little stiff. So again, in the beginning, you want to fly. You want to put a good amount on. And again, for the viewers at home, don't mind Bob. I keep saying fly. Fly, fly, produce, produce. Thinking as a contractor. For those of you at home, take your time. No one's paying you by the hour. Don't make it endless, though. Now, see that? This is going to happen time to time. Little bit of contamination. Pluck it out. Wipe it off. Continue. Whether it's a piece of fluff or debris in the air, something in the actual paint, such as contamination, or a bristle coming out, or a piece of contamination, you must pull it out. You'll have to sand it out later. Again, when you're applying it, it doesn't matter how it looks as long as you apply it. Once it's on, we're going to even it out. Now, the size of the brush does matter. This is a 3-inch brush. I don't recommend you using a 5-inch brush on 3-inch trim. Look at that. Clean and glistening. Now, same thing. We're going to tilt it up. See the runs? No big deal, as long as you catch them. Obviously the backside won't matter, because if you're installing this with this particular one, or whether honestly it's casing or baseboards, a few runs on the back won't hurt because you're applying it against the wall. As long as you dissipate them. I enjoy painting, I'll be honest with you. I've been doing this for about 25, 26 years, even prior to becoming a licensed contractor. I really don't get to paint enough sometimes. As a construction firm, we're general contractors, so we do a multitude of jobs, so we're not always painting daily in and out. However, knowing the way I am, if I was painting non-stop, I would probably get bored of it. I like different tasks, different trades. This will dry, depending on the brand, depending on what you're using, a couple of hours. Light sanding sponge, and I'm not talking about left and right action, or you'll take the paint right off. You put the sponge down, I call it a pull, and then you must either vacuum it or use a tack cloth to pull the lint and the dust off. One more coat and she's ready to be installed. Up next, Bob's going to teach you how to cut and roll like a professional. We'll be right back.
The high school championship season is underway, and Cable 14 is your home for the Hamilton Wentworth Public and Catholic School Board Football Championships. You can catch the action live on Cable 14 and cable14now.com. The Public Board Divisions 1 and 2 finals take place on Wednesday, November the 7th, beginning at 4 p.m., while the Catholic Board games get underway on Friday, November the 9th, starting at 4:30.
Welcome back. Today we're going to teach you how to cut and how to roll like a pro. Half the battle is preparation. When we dump our paint, we dump it into the handy pail because it's very handy, it's easy to maneuver. We also load up the tray. We have our brush ready. We have our roller ready. I mean, why dump in here and then do your cuts and then go back and load your tray? You'll actually be wiping the top ledge of your paint can twice, wiping off the excess. This is a little unusual. We still have a drop ceiling to install. The original drop ceiling ended here, so this isn't really an important cut, but it's still nice to get that cut. Again, it takes years and years to get the experience level with this, but generally you want to cut all corners around all electrical outlets and switches. So you don't have to be perfect in your application, but you do want to give it a nice wipe. Obviously there's no baseboards in here yet, so that is an advantage. We know our baseboards are going to be 4 1/4 inches high. This is going to be the receptacle for the clothes dryer, so you do want to cut around it. Make sure the power is off. It's the cutting that takes work. The rolling's rather easy. You want to make certain you've got no runs. See, I call this dissipating. You don't want to leave any thick edges. That's the right way. The wrong way would be you don't want to leave any type of an edge. That won't hide. Always wipe your brush. Dissipate it. This is going to be the termination point for the clothes dryer. We just installed this the other day. There's going to be a flange that goes around here, so I'm not worried at the damaged drywall. Still want to go around it. Nice cut at the top. Again, it's going to be a drop ceiling, so it's not a major issue. high quality paint like this, you're only having to dip into your handy pail every so often. Cheap paint, you're dipping in almost every moment. Now around the window we're going to be installing picture frame trim, the casing, like what we showed you earlier in the show. Avoid installing the casing until you've painted. It's easier. Then you don't have to cut around the casing. So you see, I try to apply it liberally, and then a nice pull to dissipate it. Inside corner again. I want to make sure we cut that. You don't want to leave runs. They'll all have to be cut out. And on an inside corner, you want to wipe both sides. Now, this is a bit of a problem here. Obviously, the roller's not going to fit here. So we're going to brush cut this area and then roll into it. Now, you want to try to be neat with the copper, but again, it doesn't matter. There's going to be a laundry tub here, and even before we put the laundry tub in, we can clean any residual paint droppings off the copper with emery cloth, and the copper is just a rough-in. It will have to be cut down and then shut-off valves installed, and there's going to be little metal chrome plates that go around the copper. So it's really dressed up underneath the laundry tub. But obviously, you'd never be able to navigate in here with the 12-inch roller. So you want to just dissipate it now. We've left about 5 inches of height here. Lots of space that we can roll into. You don't want to leave any thickness. Now we're going to show you how to roll. The rolling's the fun part. Please always invest in a high quality roller liner. It really, really makes the difference. Rotate up and down a little bit so your runs get caught. And what you want to do is you want to start in a W pattern. Somewhat of a W, and then you back roll to fill it in. See how I'm blending into my cut? You want to blend in as close as you can. Again, how I'm blending into my cut. See the small run? But again, that won't show. I only ever paint with Sherwin-Williams. Beautiful paint to use. Really makes it an enjoyable experience. Now sometimes we're going to get a little fluff in here. Either take it out now while it's wet, or you're going to be sanding it out later. Now, very important, the final roll in. So that's our brush cut, that's our roll. You don't want to have a lot of pressure. See that? Nice and easy. Pull out the lint. Painting is a very, very expensive trade. Believe me, depending on the size of your home, depending on how many floors, depending on if there's furniture to move, you could be spending anywhere from $6,000 to $15,000 to have a home painted. It's not cheap, but it's labor intensive, and it'll cost you a lot. So this is a fantastic trade to learn. Terrific trade to learn. You usually get the runs in the corners. So again, as long as you're aware of them, Either you roll them out now or you got to cut them out later and then repair your wall. Now what I'm doing now is I'm back rolling. Once you've got a section done, it is important to back roll it. This will dry for a couple hours till it's dry to the touch. And if you really want a silky, beautiful finish, sanding sponge on the fine side. Give the wall a light scuff, vacuum the wall, and then ×2, hit it with the second coat. Up next, Bob's Wares and Bob's Top Picks. Stay tuned.
If you are ready to play, we are ready to pay. Kiwanis TV Bingo is coming your way. Pick up those $3 bingo cards at any one of almost 200 vendors around the Hamilton community. Tune into Cable 14 on Monday nights at 7 p.m. and win cash. Over $150,000 up for grabs this season. You won't want to miss it. Break a dabber.
Thank you for watching our painting show. I hope you enjoyed it, and most importantly, I hope you learned from it. As somebody taught me, a wise man a long, long time ago, everybody thinks they can paint, but not everybody's a painter. You see how much work and how much preparation goes into it. Now, equally as important, Bob's Bewares and Bob's Top Picks relevant to the show. Please, at all costs, avoid dollar store paintbrushes, or in this case, $2 from the dollar store. I guess it must be inflation. I don't mean to be dumping on the dollar store. There may be some items of quality or some items of necessity. However, please do not use this to paint your home. Bob's Top Pick, however, as used on today's episode, is the Purdy. This is top notch. You're going to paint like a pro. You're going to be dipping and dipping way less by using this, and you're going to enjoy your project. Another item now. Dollar store rollers. Believe me, it's not worth it. This thing will leave so much lint, so much fuzz and contamination on your walls. Not to mention, it doesn't hold much. You're going to dip in the roller tray, not even go up and down one stroke and have to re-dip. Forget it. Proudly made in Canada by Bennett. Bob's Top Pick. Believe me, I don't know why they carry these things, but apparently, again, we've got more stuff from the dollar store here. This is the roller cage or the spinner. If you want to kind of see the comparison, made in China, made in Canada. Look at the size of the handle. Again, with China, I'm sure they'll be lacking in manufacturing and quality control. That will spin for years. This I wouldn't trust for days. All episodes are based on your feedback. Please send us your submissions, send us your emails, or call us. Visit us, the largest home improvement database on the net, www.justaskbob.com. Again, www.justaskbob.com. And if you're old school, please, by all means, pick up the phone, 289-649-0196. Again, that's 289-649-0196. Bob's ready to answer your call. Until next time, thank you. Inflation. This is not worth a penny. Please do not use these to paint your home. I thought I had it off.